Hello and welcome to my grow room. I am Michelle and it is Sunday. It's the Pacific Northwest. It is gorgeous today. Yesterday was fantabulous. Let me show you. We went to the lake. Isn't it beautiful? I love the Pacific Northwest. The trees all around, the cooler temperatures. You get the sun, but you don't bake in it 24/7 year round. So I am very, very, very thankful that I was able to get out with my husband and my daughter, enjoy the lake. It's just a panorama of just the beautiful Lake Merwin here in Washington State. The grow room today, some of my top shelf orchids. You know, when you go to the liquor store or the grocery store, the top shelf's the most expensive stuff usually, but in my case that's not necessarily true. It's just the orchids that prefer the most intense lighting system that I could offer them. So I put them on the top shelf and I check to see if they start to get purple with little spots on it, that they might be getting too much light. And I move them around from time to time. Often when a new plant will open up a new leaf, it'll be too intense for that new growth. So I drop it down and move it around, and yeah, I'm constantly moving things. I talked about that in one of my videos, right? Always rearranging the landscape. And let me show you my top shelf things, plants and orchids. But I also, before I jump into that, wanted to share with you this beauty. We unboxed her from Carmela the other day and she had 3 buds on her. Let me grab her. She didn't survive with 3 buds when I mounted her, but one of them opened up, so there is only 2 left. Can you see those gorgeous spots? Look at that. And this was the Tuckerara Hilo Adventure Pinkie. I never pronounce what her crosses are, so I'll just leave it as the Hilo Adventure Pinkie. But look at that. I thought they were going to be really big blooms, so maybe next year in my grow room they'll be bigger, but they are literally only about that big. So perfect. And I ended up mounting her. I can't 100% remember why, but I think it had to do with when I unraveled that pot full of roots. There was a lot of dead ones on the inside. So she didn't have much depth to her roots, but she did have some that were longer. So I was able to mount her straight on this slab, put some heavy wire around her, add the moss, and then put the fishing line around it. Unfortunately, this mount had already been used for something else and the hook was in it at the top. And when I hang her, she'll slide down, which I don't prefer, so we're going to work on getting her a better hooking system that will leave her to sit straight up. But in the meantime, I prop her inside of a big white crock. Let me show you where she sits on the shelf, on the top shelf. So here she is on the top shelf underneath the Mars Hydro. But here she sits in a crock up on the shelf next to the beautiful Ascophoenicia peaches, which is still smelling wonderful. Take you in and see that. She smells delicious. In the back, you see that little one in the back? That is one that we recently repotted. I haven't shown that video yet, but I will. On the shelf. And also, I'll show you some close-ups of my Dendrobiums and how they're coming along. Here is another plant with no tag. I must have lost it in the shuffle to put her into a LECA setup. And I don't know, she's bifoliate. And she's got this new growth that's got purple and green going up it. She's got a little bit of happy sap on the tip of it. Where is it? Right there. So I don't recall what she is, but we will find out one day. This little one is it's called a Stima. Stima. Kelly Lee. I don't know what the Stima is, but I will look that up. It's from Kalapana Tropicals, and I think I got her 2 years ago. And she is in a leca with water in the bottom of the crock. She's on the top shelf with the highlight, and it's forming a lot of algae in there. So I'll have to figure out if I want to keep doing this, put her in bark, or just dump her and clean her. There are some roots growing off the top. I think she's doing okay. New growths. I think she's just a small plant. Not certain, but I will watch her grow. She does have a lot of roots under there. It'll be interesting to see all these bloom next year. Next she goes on the top shelf. These are two of my Dendrobiums that are also on the top shelf. They are loving the light. I have to water them practically every day. They are doing well. Let me get you in closer to show you who they are. This first one here is Dendrobium Pink Sonia. She flowered for me last year from the vendor and was gorgeous. I loved her flowers. They lasted for months. And she's growing her roots really nicely, and through the top you can see, and I have to water her every single day practically. Again, I have a lot of fans going on in my room, so that might be why. This other one is she's got roots coming down with green root tips. And she is growing up this beautiful cane. She is another Dendrobium Pink Sonia. I remember I bought one for myself and one for my mama. And they both are plugging along great with the highlight, the watering, and the fans. Another top shelf Dendrobium is Dendrobium Hawaiian Punch. I have not seen this bloom for me yet. It didn't come in bloom. And this is what we're looking like here. It came from Kalapana Tropicals. And she got watered yesterday and isn't drinking all the water up fast enough, so she won't get any water today. But she's got this new shoot, which has a second leaf coming out of it. Or she's on the top shelf and seems to be loving the light up there. Dendrobiums are my favorite so far. I think Dendrobiums are easier to care for than the Phalaenopsis as a beginner. Love that Mars light. We have this tiny one in the front I didn't show you. She is, what is she? Darwinara Charm Blue Moon crossed with Darwinara Blue Pacific. And she is a wee little peanut. She is in a leca with watering at the bottom, and she got water today, so she's doing pretty good. She's got roots down in there that turn green. She is little, and it will be a long while before I see flowers, probably 3 or 4 more years. These are my big Mary Elizabeth Bond, 2 of them. I'll just put that back in later, and this is where they sit on the top shelf, soaking up everything, continuing to get bigger and bigger. And we have more Dendrobiums loving the top shelf. This is my white pack lay, and I just let her do her thing. We are continuing to have a great day today. Hubby is outside with the shop vac and the pine needles on the gazebo, you know, tackling those things, and I'm inside enjoying the beauty of my grow room. And I'm looking forward because in 2 days I have a dear sweet friend flying through and having a 4-hour layover in my city, so we're gonna eat and laugh and have a great time. And I am looking forward to these next few days and this glorious week ahead of us. I hope you are looking forward to something happening that's a little out of the norm for you this week. I wish you well, I wish you peace, and I thank you for spending a few moments with me on this Sunday. Until we talk again, bye-bye.